These two pictures, they're separated by 90 days. And in this video, I'm going to reveal what happened and what I did in this time frame. I started from zero, no prior knowledge, no prior experience. I'm just documenting my progress on the channel. If I can inspire just one person to get into calisthenics by seeing my videos, that would be the biggest win of my channel. Right, so in terms of training plan, I basically have an app. I'm not affiliated, but I'm just going to tell you so that you know what I use. I use the Calisthenics app. I think it's a great app for calisthenics. It might be tough at first. As a beginner, I still consider myself a beginner since it's only been 3 months. But I remember when I started, some of the workouts were really tough. So each workout focuses on a different area. Push, pull, core, legs, and then you end up the week with a full body workout. So at first it was very humbling. I could do a few pull-ups, I could do push-ups, but not that many. I think my form wasn't the best as well, but I stayed consistent, and every week I got 1% better. More reps, better form, as I was saying. I trained to failure from time to time, but I wasn't doing it all the time. And yeah, rest days were as important as workout days. I didn't overdo it, I just stayed consistent. And honestly, in terms of gear, I don't have that much. I just have dips bar, pull-up bar, and I also have rings so that I can do Australian pull-ups, for instance. So yeah, they're really useful. Regarding nutrition, honestly, I couldn't be bothered to actually track my calories. But I know I don't have a big appetite, and I knew my goal at first was actually to build muscles and lose fat. I'll get back to losing fat and gaining muscles a little bit later in the video. But yeah, so my goal was to do that. And since I don't have a big appetite, I knew not getting too many calories wasn't going to be an issue. So I think I was around a deficit of 400 calories a day. And then since I don't eat a lot, my main focus was actually getting protein each time I ate. And to help me boost my calorie intake, peanuts were really useful. So I would grab a handful from time to time during the day. That was a big helper. And then next to that, I had 2 shakers a day, each of 30 grams of protein. So roughly I would say I was getting around 110 grams of proteins per day. So just for your information, but you probably know that, but if you want to gain muscles, you should be eating from 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram. So if you weigh 70 kilos, you just do 70 times 1.6 or 2.2 or something in between. And then you'll have how many grams of proteins per day you should be eating. Personally, I know I'm on the lower end. When I started, I weighed 67 kilos, and so I timed it by 1.6, which is 107 grams of proteins a day. And yeah, in terms of what I ate, I've been trying to eat clean. I think I have always clean. I think that's not sustainable, and I want to be able to be doing this for a while. Whenever I want to have something that's not clean, I just have it. Not in excess, of course. So my rule of thumb is 80-20. So 80% of what I eat is clean. The rest of the 20% is made for pleasure. Alright, so moving on to the different phases that I experienced, being in my body transformation so far and mentally as well. Let's start mentally. So at first, it's exciting. You know, you're motivated, it's new, you want to get going or keep going during the first few weeks. Changes is happening fast. You'll shed fat like crazy. Let's say 7-8 weeks. They're really nice. You see the changes. It's happening. You don't get a lot of muscles, but fat is shedding really fast. And then after that, it's just discipline taking over. You know, at some point, not doing a workout is not an option. You really have to be disciplined. And I still have it to this day. I dread the workout all day long. And I end up doing the workout really late at night because I don't want to let the day go by. So I just do it really late. It's annoying, but then I try to trick myself into starting, and then when I started, I just get going and I'm moving on with the workout. So that's mentally. Just be aware that things are gonna get tough. That exciting period is gonna wear off, but that's okay. I think it helps a lot to actually anticipate what's gonna happen so that you know it's gonna happen and then you can deal with it better. And then in terms of my body transformation, so as I was saying, I shed fat fast during the first few weeks. And then I think up until the 7th, 8th weeks, it kind of stopped. Like I kind of stalled. I felt like I didn't lose fat, I wasn't gaining muscles. And that phase was actually kind of frustrating because I knew it was gonna happen because, actually, quick tip, I use ChatGPT a lot and putting my pictures in ChatGPT. So let's say I would start putting my picture on day 1 and then another picture on week 4. And then I would ask ChatGPT to tell me, okay, where do you see any difference? Did I gain muscles? Did I lose fat? And then it will tell you all of those details where you actually made progress. And I think that helps a lot because seeing yourself every day in the mirror, you're not really seeing the changes. But ChatGPT has this perspective and then can give you this feedback. So I think that helps a lot. So yeah, that was it for the quick tip. I was just giving it to you because that helped me be motivated. So anyway, I was saying, at some point I stalled, and yeah, that was really frustrating to not see anything moving. But then knowing that this period would come actually really helped because I was aware of it, and even though it was frustrating, I just went through it. And then once you start going through this phase, it starts over again. So your body, after like 2 months or a bit more, knows that it's time to grow, so to speak. It doesn't mean that you're not going to grow muscles before that, but it's really going to be minimal. And so after 2 months or a bit more, depending on the body or depending on the person, that's when you're really going to start seeing progress. But basically what I want to share with that is just keep pushing, go through it, and yeah, this one is really cliche, but trust the process. I used to believe that my body wasn't made for change. I always been like either skinny or skinny fat kinda. And yeah, now that I start seeing some changes, I know it's nothing dramatic, but it's motivating. And I see that my body adapts and is recomposing. So yeah, maybe you can relate to that. Maybe not, I don't know. Just start and you'll see what happens. And then in terms of phase, you're actually lucky if you've never done weight training or body weight training, because your body is going to adapt quickly and you'll be subject to newbie gains. So what is newbie gains? So basically, as I said in the beginning of the video, you'll be able to shed fat and gain muscles at the same time, which is not something that's possible for advanced people, because they either gotta choose to lose fat, which is the cut phase, or get in the bulk phase, which is gaining muscles. And so when you're more advanced, you cannot do both simultaneously. But that's something you can do as a beginner when you start getting into body weight or weight training. So definitely get advantage of that. And that period can be as long as 6 months up until a year. Also, now that I'm getting closer to my goal in terms of body fat percentage, so I'm at 14% approximately at the moment, and my goal is to be at 11-12%. But yeah, that's something you need to be aware of as well. As you lose fat, the process of losing fat is going to be slower and slower as you get to a lower body fat percentage, because your body is holding more and more to what it has as a reserve. Alright, so that's everything that happened in those 90 days. I'm not done yet. The goal is just to keep going. I want to be able to do those crazy moves that those advanced people doing calisthenics can do. So if you want to follow their journey, don't forget to subscribe. So if you're thinking about getting into a fitness journey, don't wait until it's the right time, just start. I can only encourage you to do that. Again, if I can do it with no prior knowledge, no prior experience, you definitely can. No matter what's your starting point, I see you, I'm with you. And if you are yourself into a fitness journey as well, feel free to share it with me in the comment. I'll be happy to read about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.